Hello, everybody. I'm gonna still a couple minutes for people to join. If you can, please join Slack so we can share the code and share questions there. So that's where you can ask questions on the Tuesday class channel. You can ask questions there, and I'm gonna be able to answer them. And also we'll be sharing, you can share with me any of your creations. If you created a website, if you want me to check some of the code, you can put it in Slack and I can look at it. And or if you want to show your web page, some of you have already done it, so great job. I enjoy looking at what you all created. And it's nice to see that, you know, the time we spend together here is giving you skills that you can use to make websites. So that's very encouraging. We still are letting people in. So, but if you have any questions about last week we were talking about how to integrate CSS into the HTML. So we have a couple ways to do it. And today we're going to be talking about how to combine JavaScript. And this is not a class about how to use JavaScript. I'm not very good on JavaScript, so I cannot teach you JavaScript, but I can give you off-the-shelf code that you can use. And I'll show you how to integrate it into your HTML file. Also, I'm gonna show you other tricks you can use that you don't need to know more code, other off-the-shelf tools that you can use. And for all you know, we just gone to the surface of what is web design. I just showed you very tangible skills that can give you scaffolding into more depth skills, more depth in class. So there is more specialization that goes on after this. And if you are interested, if you like what you did here, yeah, go for it. I'm gonna show you at the end of the class a list of resources. I have books here that I picked up from the library. So you can come and check them out. I'm gonna put it closer. And this is just a sample, and you can borrow them. Some of them might be 1 or 2 years old, but they're still, the concepts and the theories are still the same. So if you want to know more about it, so one is creating websites, CSS, see if I put it closer, HTML, and JavaScript. So if you prefer a book, if not, at the end of the class, I'll give you a list of resources. And there are a lot of resources to learn web design. And then there is web design and also user experience design, which is the interaction between the human and the machine. And that's a whole another subject about how to make the machine accessible to easier accessibility, easier user, and also how maybe you want to create a game, so you want to engage the people into your game, attract them, or if you are designing a website, how to make it not only accessible, but also you can hear. Who else cannot hear? Who else cannot hear? Or who can hear me? So, yeah. Okay, So the problem is not my side. You cannot hear me. Try to reconnect. Okay, that was a little scary because I thought maybe you guys couldn't hear me. So yeah, so there is a lot. We're just touching the surface. So there is a lot more. You can move into the front end, the back end, but also about the interaction between the humans and the machine. And that's a whole other complete different track. It's called user experience design. And also some people have mentioned cybersecurity. Of course, with web pages, you have a lot of risk for security, and there's a whole other section, an entire different track. So that's, I'm gonna show you on the, if you have the notes, at the bottom, I have listed all the classes available. And we also have classes available on the online. Python and JavaScript are used different. They are different. They cannot be replaced. They are different functions. So JavaScript will have anything that you see on when you click, for example, on in an app, and something pops up. Most likely that's JavaScript. Python needs another framework to make it run, and Python is used more for data, managing data, and it is used in data science. So anything to do with databases, and Python is more like a back-end software that you use to build. Is almost like the blocks of the house, and JavaScript is almost like the paint or the decoration of your house. So there are, for what I understand, there are different functions. So I don't think they can replace each other. They just have different specific functions. With the web frameworks, if you're talking about other languages besides JavaScript, Ruby is one of those that can take over JavaScript. Sometimes the web designs are based on Ruby and some other. Every year there is a new software, a new code that comes, especially in web development. People are working, there is like jQuery, and there is a Jupyter, and there is, a ton of things that comes with framework. But JavaScript and Ruby are more web developer. Python, C++ are more for your data, hardcore, more hard-end application. Okay, that's an excellent question. So I'm going to share again the class notes. I'm going to put it on Slack on the Tuesday channel. There it is. And so just a recap of what we did last week. So last week we were talking about how to do how to use CSS into your HTML. So we talk about also the external. You can use a link, so you can create a CSS file and link it into your header of your code, and so you don't have to write anymore the code. And one of the things we discovered last week is that the inline code on CSS is take precedent over this. So if you have inline code in your body, that's not going to cancel out your link, your file here. So if you want the CSS in your body to not be you want the file to take precedent over the CSS in the body, you need to delete the one in the body. And remember, we went through that, and we saw that together. So one of the things we had on our poem was we had a picture really big. So I'm going to show you how to reduce the size. So if you go again to your CS50 IDE. So let me know if you have your CS50 IDE open, and try to find your poem. So I'm gonna search it here. I'm gonna navigate to my folder where I have the file with the poem, and then I'm gonna put HTTP -server. So I'm gonna wait until everybody gets there and have their server running. So just to clarify, this is while you are running the server, this web page is alive. When you close the server, when you do Control-C, this URL is not found, it's not working. So the only way for you to have that URL alive for later, if you want to have it alive permanent, you'll have to upload it into a server. So you'll have to upload it on Amazon or WordPress, or if you have your own website, you can add it there. You can upload it to the website. But unfortunately, when you click the Control-C, you stop sending your information to the specific server. And I put also how you can use other IDEs that live in your computer. And so that's another way maybe you want to learn. After you master, you feel comfortable with your files. So somebody let me know on Slack that they are on the CS50 IDE and they are close to the poem. So my poem. Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna go here to poem HTML, which is the same poem. And well, I already fixed it, but you guys must have a huge picture here, right? So what you do to reduce that image proportionally. We're gonna reduce the size proportionally. We're gonna put a code in the header. So between the headers, we're gonna put this code. I'm gonna put it on Slack, and you're gonna add it to your poem between the header tags. And when I put it on Slack, remember it goes all in a line, so you know that you have to put it the way it's supposed to be, which is, I'll show you how it's supposed to look. Because right here, so it's supposed to look, mine is a little bit, it's nice to have everything indented just because it looks better style-wise. So you're gonna put the code in between the header. So anywhere between the header tags, it just needs to be before the end header tag. And then you can put here, if it's 100, let's put 100. It's gonna be the original size. You see, it's the original size. If you put 50%, and of course you save it, save your code, and then you updated your website, it's gonna look a little bit smaller. So it's half the original size. And then I have before 20%. So try it and see how it works for you, or if it doesn't work. So whoever finishes, just let me know on Slack. So I know that I explain it clearly and I'm not rushing. Oh, good. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Margaret is on top. I share it with her the code earlier. So yeah, good. Glad. Thank you. Thank you very much for letting me know. This is so helpful, believe me. So you can, and the good thing is that it doesn't get stretched out, so it goes proportional, and then you can align it and center it like we did the couple classes before. You can go either here and align it, or you can add it to the, so that's HTML, the alignment. So you'll have to put it here on the image tag, because this is an HTML tag. The other way to do it, I'm going to take this out because it always messes, remember, it messes up if you have it in the header. The other way to do it is you can specify the width and the height. So, but that's going to go right inside the image tag. So remember, we have an image tag here, and this is not JavaScript, that's HTML. So right after the file, the JPEG file, you're gonna put the width and a height. And these are just random numbers. I really don't know what it's gonna do, but most likely it'll distort the image. So that's something you just have to be conscious about it. And there are ways to do it, like you have to find out, like go maybe to Photoshop or an image editor and find out what is the width and the height, and then do the calculation to make it specific. You want to do it that way. So this, since we have a picture of a face, of a portrait, it might not be the best way to do it this way, but I just want to show you what happens. So maybe if you have a frame, or you have something that it doesn't, distortion is not a problem, you can try that way. So you just put width, and I can put here 200. It doesn't matter, you can put whatever you want, and I can put here 100. Or whatever you wish. There is nothing wrong. So I'm gonna update it, and you're gonna see how distorted it gets. So see, it got squashed like this. So you just have to play with it and try to make it where it doesn't look like it's being squashed. Or maybe you like this side. So that's a way to change the pictures. So which one you guys like better? Using the style or using the width and height tag? Yeah, the style is better. Yeah, if you have a portrait like this, definitely. If anybody's joining now, we just doing the poem, and we just went to the image tag and changed the width and the height by adding these properties at the end of the tag, of the image tag. So, but where you can catch up. The next thing, so here's the code, so you can use that code. Okay, so now we're getting, this is the fun part. So we're gonna start using off-the-shelf code. And there is something called Bootstrap, which is a library of different code, and have components, and they have all kind of fun things. So we're gonna bring that to our code. And so the first thing is the way the syntax works. You have to put the link that refers to. So this is you have to go to the header. So here's the Bootstrap CSS link. So like similar to what we did to bring the style CSS to our HTML, you have to make a link tag here and point out to the Bootstrap site. So the Bootstrap is gonna give you this link, and you just copy paste that tag as it is, and you put it between the headers. So I'm going to show you how it works. So I'm going to put the link on Slack. And you can go here to this link. So you're going to go to this site. And you don't have to sign in or get anything. So it says here, look, you see that it says Bootstrap. Here, get Bootstrap, and then B is Bootstrap. And then it tells you here a quick start. You ignore all that stuff. The important thing here is the CSS link. So you copy paste that link, and then you put it in your header. So here, I already have it here. So you're going to put it anywhere between the headers. And this is, you can see how I wrote here Bootstrap CSS. This is the way you comment on HTML. So you put these characters here to comment. So the comment is you turn off the line, so the IDE is not going to read this line. So that's a way to make notes in your code. And it helps you to remember what you just did. So this is, you can see here, I have a style, CSS style link. And then underneath, you're going to have the Bootstrap. So you go ahead and you copy this. I'm going to put it on Slack. And you're going to put that between the headers, between the header tag. Okay. So let me know if is that how it goes, if that went well, or if it's, so right now it's just to put the link there only. I'm looking at Slack to wait until I see some people. Now, it won't do anything. You just put the link, you're not going to see anything happen. Nothing has happened so far. Yeah, nothing happens. So what is supposed to happen? Nothing, because we haven't put the code yet. So if you go here, let's see if it changes my code. No, it didn't do anything. What is going to happen is we're going to add this. See this alert here? See this stuff here? We're going to add those. So if you are on this website, so you have to be on this website where I am. So remember to go to this website. You save your HTML file. You go to this website. And then you're going to go here on the left, and you're going to click here where it says component. Let me make this bigger, but you can see it. We're going to here to go to the left menu, and you're going to click here where it says component. So does everybody see the components? We're going to do components, and then we're going to do alerts. So our first one is going to be an alert. So let me know if you got there. Oh, yes. So once you are in the alerts, then is when we're going to get off-the-shelf code. We're going to click out here, go down, browse down the browser, go down the browser slowly, and then you're going to see this really nice alerts. And you might see this alert. We put a lot of those alerts in our library website. Anytime we change schedules, like if it's snow schedule, weather, like if we have, is to let to pop it out, pop up the information. So you might see those sometime on our website or maybe another website, and those are temporary alerts. So you're gonna see they have different colors. They're so very pretty. And down here, when you're gonna see that they're matching up. So this one is the code for the primary alert. So the primary alert is this light blue one. It says primary alert. If you choose the secondary alert, then you're gonna see the gray one, and so on. So you have success alert and danger alert and so on. But let's pick up one of these ones. So you're gonna pick up, you can pick up any because we're just testing it, but I'm gonna pick up the first one. So you just copy paste that, and you're gonna put it in your code, in the body of your code. Don't put it in the header. You're gonna put it in the body of your code. So let me see, right here, I have here my secondary alert. So I'm gonna delete that one, and you don't have to do this. I just gonna show you how it's done. I'm gonna paste this one, and then I'm gonna save it. So now you're gonna see a change in your code. So try that, let me know how it goes. And you can put it anywhere between the body. It doesn't matter where. Good. So they work for everybody. So if you're done putting that one, you can go to the next alert. So the next alerts are this one, that are color alerts that actually you can customize and put a link. So you can go down here, scroll down and try one of those while we wait for everybody else to catch up. So I'm gonna wait until somebody else tells me that we're clear. Yeah, good. So what do you think? You like that? So that's what I'm saying. You can get a lot of things done. This is, I think this is all might be JavaScript. So you're getting a lot of stuff done and you don't even know, you don't have to code. So you can use all these tools that somebody has already made in a library to get into your website while you catch up with your learning of web design. So it's a lot of, and that's why a lot of people like web design, because there is a lot of scaffolding. You can create a lot with very little code. So you can learn faster that way. In the JavaScript is the alert, is the class and alert role. That's, like I said, I'm not very good at JavaScript because I have refused to learn it. So far, I have refused myself to learn it because Python is so much easier than JavaScript. Python reads almost like English, and JavaScript is a little bit different. So I've been like trying to refuse it, but it's always, and I end up picking up a couple stuff. Ruby is the same way. Ruby is farther from Python. So if you're used to C++ Python, this JavaScript role and Ruby, they look weird. But I believe this is already combined, and you can go here to Bootstrap and they tell you this, yeah. So these are called, and this web development, they have classes and they have all kind of things. And you're gonna see, I'm gonna show you, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So, so if you're good with that, you can try the next one, which is the link. So you can pick up one of these and then customize it. And I'm gonna show you how I customize mine. So you can pick up any of these ones, and I'm gonna show you how it works on my website. So this is my primary alert, and you can customize this so it doesn't say primary alert. So you can change this. So in some occasions we use it maybe if you go to a restaurant and they have a new menu, they will say new menu. Or if, for example, in our library, we use it like if there is an announcement like, oh, we're gonna work on open on Sundays, or we're gonna open, or something like that. If it's a danger alert, it'll be red, so it'll be maybe a closing. So that's why they color coded. And you can customize that. The next one, you can customize it too. And I actually customize it so where this is a link, and you can customize all this text. And here I customize it where you can click it, and it's gonna take you to the Poetry Foundation. So you can customize these tags to where here you can put your website, but it has to be the full website with HTTP. You can customize the text. So this part of the text, you can customize it and put something else. Here, this text also, you can customize it. What you cannot customize is this property here, alert link. That's something class, you cannot customize it. But this text here, you can customize it. And also the website. You can put another website here. Okay, any questions about this? I know it's a lot, and there is, if you want, you can go through all these different components and experiment with it. So this is a header, so you can do different headers. This is just plain HTML, it's no, but it gets more. Then you have a bottom, and then you can add all these different interaction. And also with JavaScript, the only other thing you know is JavaScript because it changes the interface. So these are HTML. So you can try some of this, and actually it's a lot of fun because you are learning at the same time that you are making things, adding more sophistication to your website. So you can go and, I mean, you can spend all day trying all this. There are tool tips. So the tool tips are like, you can go, it's the little hand that shows up here. So what do you think? Do you think this is fun? So that would be like an entire week of, if I had to teach Bootstrap, it would be an entire week of just experimenting with Bootstrap. So let me know on Slack if that was helpful or at least fun to try it on. Yeah, if you have to put, that's a good question. If the link doesn't work, it's because your link is empty. So for example, let me go back to the alert. Okay, the classwork saved. The classwork saved. I don't understand the question. Yeah, for the link, so if you want to put a link, there is this pound. You take the pound out, and you have to put the whole website with the HTTPS, all this in quotes. So you can, you have to put quotes. So if you still have trouble, just send me a screenshot or send me the code so I can look at it. And somebody can tell me what do they mean by, Tucker can tell me what is the classwork save, because I don't understand the question. You want the class notes? You want the class notes, just look up on Slack and they are there. If not, I'll put it back on. Okay, so you can try all those, and if I have more time, we will try together. But you know, if you have trouble, just Slack me and we can figure it out together. Well, let me put my IDE so if somebody is looking at the code, they can look at the code. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is do a form, a simple form using only HTML. And this is, we're gonna do a Google search button. Okay, thank you, Natalie. Yes, that's a good point. You have to replace that pound. The course schedule. Oh, you wanna know what's coming next? What's coming for next year? Is that this is today's the last class. For next year, I'm still developing the classes for next year, and I was going to ask you, one of the things I put here on my notes and I didn't tell you, if you have any other, if you have a specific request for a tech skill, please email me or Slack me, because right now I'm thinking about what to teach next year. Of course, all these classes are being recorded, so I would like to teach something new. So let me know if you have something in mind and maybe I can help you. But I haven't decided what we're going to teach, what I'm going to teach next year. So this is your time to provide suggestions. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do an HTML search engine, a Google search engine. So I'm going to put the code here, and I suggest you just make a brand new file, a brand new HTML file. Oh, good. So I'm going to put it here, and you can name it search. Minecraft, oh, that will be more my son. I haven't played much with Minecraft, sorry, but maybe you should send an email to the youth. I don't know. I know the youth services. I can pass it to the youth services. Maybe there is maybe a volunteer that can teach it. So I can pass it on to the youth service to see if there is somebody that's very knowledgeable in Minecraft. Fortunately, I haven't tried Minecraft that much. So I put the wrong one. Okay, forget it. I put the wrong one. Let me get the right code. Okay, so let me delete this one. Don't take that code. I just put in there because that's the wrong one. I had to delete it. So this is the code, and it's all it's all in one line, so you'll have to make it, you know what I mean. So let me put it back here without, see, it changes all because of the formatting. It changes the whole thing, so it's not gonna work. But put the whole code in an HTML file, and you're gonna save it in the same folder where you have your poem. So you have your poem here. Just save it there so you don't have to move to another directory, and we don't, you're still on the server and we have to go back to server. So you just click File, New File, and you just put the code there, and then you save it. And I have to save it as Untitled because I already have a file like that. You save it as a search file, HTML, and you're gonna make sure you put it on the folder that you chose to run, and you save it there. And it's gonna be like this title. And if it's not in the right folder, you can drag it and move it to the right folder. Okay, so you should have a search file like this in your folder which is in the same location that where the server is running. So we don't have to get out. So that search file has to have this code that I just put, and it has to look like that. But for some reason, let me try see if it's gonna let me do it that way. There it is. Now it's gonna work. Yeah. So I just put it. So that's way. So you can take this code and put it in a new file. So let me know when you are halfway there. And you go to your, you should go to your, once you save it and it's in the right place, go to your URL that you got at the beginning of the server, or you can go here to poem and try to delete poem, and it's gonna take you to the root directory right there. So you can go, if you are in poem, like if you are here in poem, just delete, go to the URL box, the search box, and just delete the file where you are, and make sure you have only the port. So my port is 8080, and you click enter, and then you get to your root directory. And then you're gonna see the search HTML. So when you click the search HTML, like mine, you click search HTML, you have a search box. So I can look here, and you're gonna see what happened. Search, and it's going to send me to the Google search. So this is a pretty neat trick. You can put this in your code. I chose to put it in its own file just so you all can see the code and don't get mixed up with everything else. But this code, this HTML code, pure HTML, you can put it in inside your poem HTML if you want to do it. So this is just a pretty search box. The way you read it here is the action here. This is the website for Google search. If you don't like Google, you can put some other website. The method is get. This is what it makes them talk to each other. Here I put the comment input box search. This code here is what it makes this box show up, this box here. And then the bottom is this last one. The last one is the bottom, which is this bottom here. So if you delete this line, you won't have this bottom. So this is a very complex code, and this is the essence of how the websites, web languages work. And it has to do with the ports and how it sends it, and it's in the tree. So this will be something if you are interested in something, you will have to learn. And where it gets more complex to be able to understand how all this connects to each other. But this is just an off-the-shelf code that you can use. And if you don't want to understand it, that's fine. The things that you can customize here are, you see here, the search. You can put something else here in search. You can change the name. It's just the form. So this is a form tag, So this is a search box, Google search box, but it could be a form submission. So if you even Google form submission or input search box, if you Google that, you'll find the code for that. So so the things that you can put here, you can change this word here, value, and something else will show up, and you can customize put another website there. Okay, So this is how you do it with a simple code. Let's go and show you how to do it. And I explain here a little bit how these tags work. So let's do a pop-up window on JavaScript. And you can see how it is similar, but this is the code here. You might recognize if you took Python with me. We create a function. So you create a function grid, and this is done in the header. And then you put this code here, which is going to be like the placeholder where you put the design. So this is like the code that makes things come together. And these here are the placeholder of the frames, the boxes. So I'm going to put this. I suggest you this one. Just maybe just delete the code that you have and use this one. So let me put it on Slack. So take that one. If you want, delete the search, this one, just delete that one and put the new one. So you can take this one out if you want and just put the new one and then save it. So we don't spend too much time doing that. I have it already saved, so I'm not going to save this. So I'm going to go to my, where was it? Here. So once you put the code there and you save your file, it's going to be HTML. And of course, you can put it integrated into your poem, but I'm going to show you what's happening. So what's happening is, I'll go back to my directory. In my file is called hello. You can call it hello or you can call it search. It's called hello because that's what is going to happen. So I click hello and I put here my name. And I'm going to get a pop-up window that says hello. So this is a pop-up window, and this is what JavaScript does. It does this effect. So anytime you go in a website, it takes information and then makes something happen with the information. That's JavaScript making it. And you can go here to developing tools. If I'm going too fast, please let me know because we're getting to the end. So I want everybody to see what's going on. So you can elements, you can do the developer and you see the code here. And sometimes it tells you if it's JavaScript or not. So this one is sometimes when you have more files with JavaScript, it'll show up. The other thing I'm just going to show you, once you get more advanced, the way you're going to debug your websites, especially if you're going to put interactive like JavaScript or any other frame, a web developer class, you're going to do your debugging here. So, and the console is what is going to debug your code. You're not going to use the IDE anymore to debug your code. So you're going to use this console here. And then there are other stuff that you can apply here. So you start using designing on the web. Let's see what else does it have here. Okay, so then once you have that, the other way, so you can use, the debugging tool is on the web. So you go in developer tools, but that's right now, we don't have anything to debug. You'll have to get more code and maybe more complex, more advanced JavaScript to see the debugging, but right now our code is not bad. So I can show you what's going to happen. So anytime things are not talking to each other, you go to the developer tool and you're going to make, I don't know if you can see it. My browser doesn't let me see it, but you're going to see here elements and right beside it's going to say console. When you click console, right now there is nothing because we don't have anything going bad. But once you start building your more complicated code, that's where you're gonna troubleshoot your code. But right now we're not doing anything that is causing anything to debug. So before we go, I just want to show you, this is a way to do it. You put the code in the JavaScript, and most code language, you're going to put it between script and the header. So you're going to build this here in the header. And then in the body, you're not going to put script. You're going to put this is like the boxes and the windows, like all the formatting part. This is what's going. Is you recognize here, grid is calling this function. So this form, this onSubmit, is gonna call this grid and it's gonna make it happen. And then return false is here because the data that we are inputting is not going to a database. If we had a database that is collecting the information, this won't be return false. So as you can see, this can be very complex as you build layers on it. Here, grid me, you can change that. You can change this. You can change text if maybe you want just numbers instead of text. This name is a variable, and this is something that is typical of these web languages, is that they use this name, and this name here is the same name in here. So it's taken, and you can see here hashtag name. So all that, and then there is this name. So all the stuff is connected. So it gets really hard after, like I'm showing you like the easiest part. Then if you want to use an external file, what you do, you put the script, you create your JavaScript, pure JavaScript file, like we did with CSS, and then you put this script in the header. So for example, this is a JavaScript file, and you're gonna see here, I have a JavaScript file. So this is a JavaScript just file, and it has a JS. So I can call it to my HTML. So I don't know if I did that. Oh, here. So I can go here. And what you do when you have files, like if you're gonna have a lot of CSS files, you're gonna make a folder and put all your CSS file in the CSS folder. And if you have a JavaScript files, you're gonna put all those folders, and they need to be below this, inside this folder. They can go below, you can go down the tree, but you cannot up the tree, okay? So you can make as many folders, and everything is gonna show up in your tree. But if you go up this way above your folder, they're not gonna show up. So they'll have to show up here in order to read it. So if you want to, so let me bring that code so you guys can see it, how it's done. You don't have to do this part, I'm just gonna do it to show you how it works. So I'm gonna put this in my header, in my poem. So I'm gonna put it here. And then I'm gonna save it. And then I'm gonna go poem. And see, it shows up. Hello, I'm an alert box. So it showed up right away. So anytime I run this, it's gonna show up. If you give the full directory name, then it doesn't matter what it is. Oh, yeah, everything has to be here. Everything has to be that. It's just a style condition because the server is pointing to that. So if you see here, this is everything that is on this folder. So only because you're running the server, you started at this level here, everything underneath, below that folder, below that tree folder, is gonna show up in the server. So it doesn't matter if you have the exact location, it's not alive here. It's not alive here because you're sending all these files to the web. You're sending it to the server. So that's why it doesn't work if you have even the right address. So you have to have it all here, and that's super important. And if you see somebody who does a lot of websites, you're going to see a lot of folders, and they're all very organized. And organization is key on any of these languages. So I showed you how to do that. I'm sorry, we're running, but this is the last class, so there is a lot to say. What to do next? So what to do next, if you can and you have time, go through this video and finish the JavaScript tutorial. He'll explain it more in depth. For more in-depth HTML theory, anything that I might have left out or you need more information, more theory, this class, this is the CS50, Dr. Malan's class. He explains it wonderful, and he's like an old school but meets new school. So he kind of like a bridge of explains how things used to be done and now how it's done and how things are going to be done in the future too. So in here are different classes you can take. Of course, the Harvard class. In tutorials you can follow. Tutorials are great because you can see how they're doing it and there is less chance for you to make mistakes. There is a class here it's free from the University of Washington and website development. Python, if you're interested in Python and web design, there is a whole thing about Flask. And we have universal classes on the library, and you can check out the HTML class, and we have also other classes. For user experience, I put a lot of information here. How prototypes are done, how apps prototypes are done, how they're tested. So after you develop an app or a website, it needs to be tested to see if it works. And not only functionality, but for the user, if the user understands how to use the app. And also it goes back to accessibility. So websites need to be also be by the hard of hearing, by people who are blind, and all other things that they need to be considered. And if you want to try some other IDEs, I put here some other IDEs you can try. And also a class about cybersecurity. So if you have any questions, I'm here, at the library. You can email me. I'm always on Slack. And if you have any suggestions for next year's class, we'll start in January, maybe the second week of January. I would like to start. It'll be Thursday. I'm going to try to do it maybe at 6:30. I've tried different times, so people that maybe couldn't do it in the fall, they can do it later. So if you have any suggestion, please let me know. So I'm going to stay in Slack for a little bit. If any of you have any questions, but I just want to thank you so much and wish you the best for the holiday season. And I hope to see you soon, and not only virtually, but in person. So you guys have a great evening.